was just me and Ashley, I just worked myself to the bone.
Yep.
You know, my stress levels were high. I worked all the time. I worked weekends when I need to, and I still do when I have to. But definitely, family's priority. Being there for him is priority. Like, the thing that will make me late for work, I'm never late. I always get up on time with no alarm clock. Like, that's just how I'm wired, thanks to my dad. But the only thing that will keep me from going to work early is if my son wakes up the same time I do. And I'm like, dude, I've got to stay for this, because seeing him wake up in the morning is like the highlight of my day. Like, they're just so excited to be alive and to see you. And it's just like, oh man.
Dude, wait for this. My kid, like, he'll get up and go sit on the couch, and I'll walk out and he'll say, Dad, you want to snuggle with me? Oh. Dude, wait for that, and then try to leave for work, bro.
Good luck, man. Yeah, so definitely reevaluated priorities, and thinking back a lot of my dad, you know, like, he was a great dad, like, you know, but, you know, you kind of start breaking that down into its different components on, like, okay, what should I do better? You know, that's every generation's job, in my opinion, is like, do it better than your parents.
Yeah. They
gave you the best that they had. And I, you know, there's a lot of forgiveness that has to come into that equation before you can look at it that way. But for me, it was, how do I raise this kid up to be at least as good as me, but better for sure? And you end up appreciating a lot of the teachings that you had as a kid, and start things that you kind of forget. It's just at the back of your head start kind of popping up, like, oh, this is why my dad did and my mom did this, or this is why they did this, or this, stuff starts to click and make sense. And so really digging back in those files has been a big part of it. You know, he's not around anymore, so that's what I have to dig back into, his files. And I'm obviously seeing that from a memory from my youthful self versus like being able to go to my dad and say, hey, like, why'd you do this? Or why'd you do that? But it's affected. I feel like the slowdown, like in building, has been perfect timing. Like, hustled and busted my ass during COVID, built a lot of homes. And then the slowdown right when I had my baby was just really good timing. Like, I'm comfortably busy. I'm comfortable in a spot with my business. Like, I obviously want to grow it, scale it. I've got big plans for some other stuff. But right now, I feel so blessed to be able to just enjoy him being an infant, because they grow up so fast. You know, everyone says that, but like, they literally change every day.
Yeah.
Like, there's been time, like, we've gone on 1 or 2 weekend trips where we haven't seen him for 2 days, and you come back, you're like, whoa, you put on like a 1/4 of an inch, and like, you know, now you're playing patty cake. Like, what the hell, man? Why'd you wait for me? You know, and they don't wait. You know, they're going to grow.
I remember putting Will on the changing table, and his like feet were hanging off. Yeah. I'm like, the hell, dude? When did you get so long?
And I think Amanda mentioned you have a pretty big kid, right? Like,
he's tall.
He's giant.
He's got a massive head.
Yeah.
He's got a big old, he was always like when they were doing all the measurements and stuff, he was 50 to 70% and everything. And then his head was 100. And I was like, dude, you're the one they measure all the kids off of. Like, you're the 100.
Yeah, good luck finding a hat that fits your melon, dude.
Well, dude, he like, I can take my hats and just knock it down like 5, you know, like the snapbacks, and it fits him.
How's his balance with a big old noggin like that?
Well, I think it was hard for a while, dude, but now he's got all those neck muscles and he just rolls.
Is he walking pretty good now?
Oh, dude, he like, once he took a step, he was running.
Jeez, dude,
like I don't know. I think it was fairly normal when he started walking, but it went from like a walk to a straight run. And dude, he's everywhere right now.
Yeah, just terrorizing.
Yeah.
We're at that point. I mean, Xander was 100 percentile in height when he was born. He's 22.2 inches long.
Wow.
And he was 9.2 pounds. So big kid.
Yeah.
So he measured in the 100 percentile all the way up until like a month and a half ago. Now he's like mid 90s and like 70th in weight, but he's a big kid.
Yeah.
Like big hands, big feet. And Ashley's biological dad was 6'5". So that's not for me. You know, my dad was the same height as me, and yeah, he's going to be a big kid. But just seeing, like, he looks like a toddler right now, and he's 7 months old.
Right.
So like, we kind of felt like we missed the infant stage. So I'm just really soaking up every moment I can, because like, I'm going to turn around, that kid's going to be taller than me. And
well, it's like they go through so many changes so fast. So when you were saying like time goes so fast, like, I mean, when they're 13 to 14, it might not seem like so many changes, but
smack them beside the head half the time.
But like right now, it's like every day it's something new. And I'm like, wait, you're saying that now? Oh, you can talk in full sentences now? Yeah. Oh, like you can say these words?
It's wild. Their brains are rapid. They develop so quick. And it's awesome to see.
Like William talks really well. And from what everyone tells me, like he talks really well for his age. And he I swear he went from like, you kind of trying to figure out what he was saying to like full sentences. And I mean, that's how he is now. Like what I would do before he was even talking, if he would be out on the couch or he was awake eating whatever in the mornings, and when I'd first see him, I'd say, "What in the world?" You know, and then he'd turn and we'd, you know, and it, like, one day I walked out and he turned to me and he's all, "What in the world?" And I was like, "What the freak, dude? Like, you can talk now?" And like,
where'd you learn that?
Yeah, and it was like all these things that I say to him a lot, like he just starts repeating. I mean, obviously this is the process. People are going to look at this and be like, "Yeah, no shit, guy.
Dummy." Like, I remember my first kid. And it's probably weird to hear that from a 30-year-old talking this way, but it's like, well, that's my first kid. You know? Like, I'm going through it right now. And I love it. I love the process. I don't really care what it sounds like to other people. I'm just soaking it up, man. And I'm glad that you're in the same spot. You know, we both kind of waited a little bit to have kids, and I love it. I love being a dad. You know, I wear a lot of hats, do a lot of different stuff, and I help a lot of people out, and my bandwidth is pretty consumed, but just like my favorite hat to wear is being a dad. Mm-hmm. And it's so simple and it's so gratifying, but it's also the hardest, most rigorous thing ever, you know? Some of those nights they're sick or they're teething or whatever. It's like, dude, this is intense. Yeah. You know, but it's great.
Dude, my thing is like, I used to be I was an angry kid. Really? Like I guess I shouldn't say it like this now that I'm kind of looking back on it, because I blame a lot of it on my dad, because that was like the example I had.
The environment you're in.
Yeah, and so like, I don't know, maybe I should take some more ownership of that, but regardless, like I was kind of an angry kid because of that. Like I just didn't know how to deal with it. I just throw something, you know, and I've had that curbed for a long time. I mean, like I think there's been like 2 times I've told Amanda, like, "Hey, I'm kind of losing my shit. I kind of need you to I need you to leave the room because I'm going to lose my shit."
At least you can recognize you're about to snap and say, "Clear the room. I'm going to break some shit."
and so I've had to do that a couple times in our 10 years, but I've noticed it even more now with him, where I'm just hyper aware of it. And when something stupid, right? He's 2. Yeah. So like, and he loves tools. Dude, like I'll show you some pictures, dude. He loves tools, and
that's great.
He's having a hard time playing with his plastic tools versus my real tools.
Like, where's the snap-ons, Dad?
Yeah,
I know what bullshit you're trying to play.
Yeah. So I think he had like an adjustable wrench one day, dude, and he just like smacked me with it.
Oh,
like right on. I think it was on my foot.
They don't know soft.
Yeah, and like my reaction was like just furious, right? And so I like snatched it from him, and like it hit me, dude, and it hit me like slow motion, like, "Whoa, dude, like you need to chill." Wow. And so like, that's my biggest thing that I've, at least right now, that I'm like realizing is.
And that's your mini you, dude. So he's going to be throwing that wrench through the walls one of these days. And you'll be like, "Oh shit."
Well, he'll get like, not mouthy, but like he acts different to Amanda than he does to me.
Defiant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's fairly natural for males to act that way with their dads at some point.
Yeah.
But 2, that's pretty early, man.
Well, he was like, and maybe it's not that big of a deal, but he's like drawing on the counter, and Amanda like grabbed his hand and was like, "Where do we color?" Right. Mm-hmm. And he just turns to her and he's like, "Ugh." And I'm like, "Boy, you better, like, I'm gonna snatch you off that chair and we're gonna go have a talk behind the woodshed," right? Yeah. Like that was my initial thought.
Right.
And I started thinking, I'm like, "Man, he don't do that with me." And he did one time, and he got a flick in the teeth. Right. And like, he hadn't done it since. Yeah. And I don't know, dude. Like, that's what I'm nervous about is how do you, because we were terrified of my dad. Yeah. Or at least I was. Like, maybe I shouldn't talk for my siblings, but like he ruled us with fear. Right. And like, I don't want to do that. But at some level, I think there has to be like a fear turns into respect type of thing. Sure. And I could be 100% wrong. Ask me in 20 years, but
that's when the anxieties of being a dad, you know, like, how do I do this? Like, this is the example I had. Like, I had a dad that said, "Hey, go pick out the belt and I'm going to beat the shit out of you with, you know, if I messed up." So like, I definitely had a little bit of that, but you know, the healthy fear was definitely there, but it's, you know, even healthy fear today is frowned upon.
Yeah.
You can't do that type of stuff. So that's part of the anxieties that I had as a dad. Is like, okay, so the example I had, I've got to kind of unpack that and discard a lot of that and like figure out how to do it this way, you know, and still have him come out the other end being a decent human to society
and not having resentment and all these issues towards you.
So that, you know, and like, you know, I grew up in a conservative house too. So it was like, you backtalked mom, dude, that's the fastest way to get your ass kicked. Yeah. Where I grew up. So,
well, dude, I think
totally get where you're coming from.
And my stance on it is like, dude, that's mom. Like, we respect mom. We don't We don't talk like that to mom. We don't act like, you want to have an issue? Let's go out in the garage, dude. And you can talk to me and yell at me and cuss at me and let's have an issue.
That was my dad's biggest thing. Like, don't disrespect your mom. Don't disrespect your sisters. I got my ass beat by my sister growing up because she could.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I had the example from my dad of like respecting women. And even if they're hitting you in the face, like, do not retaliate. Like, just, let it slide. And it's not to say that's good either, but it taught me to like never ever cross that line.
Yeah.
Like, mom is what she says goes. Do never disrespect that.